Welcome to the best training channel on YouTube. Today in the weight room, we've got some jumps to do. We've got some Olympic lifts. I've got some complexes of doing some strength work paired with some other jump training. This is really the only day throughout this week where I'm doing like specific lower body strength work. So I've got a lot of questions on how my current weekly split is kind of broken up. And this is going to be something that next week, those who are on the subscription program, they're going to be starting on this jump phase that I'm doing right now. The split itself, Mondays has been acceleration plus isos and plyos. So a lot of 20s, a lot of 30s, a lot of 40s. I'm doing them out of blocks when I program that. For the people on the subscription program, you guys can go from a 2-point stance, 3-point stance, whatever you guys want to do. But that first day of the week, sprints, isos, and plyos. Second day, which is Tuesday, is the video that you guys saw previous to this one. So that's that upper body day where we're just focusing on moving some light weights fast and explosively. Very low volume, very low intensity, allows me to recover from that Monday session. So then I can go into Wednesday, which is the max velocity day. Wednesday is focused on flying 20s, some resisted fly-ins. I have some more intensive plyometric works with hurdle hops and things that I do on that day. Thursday, which is today, is my lower body strength day. Today's focus is going to be doing a little bit of box jumps. We've got a couple strength pieces that we're gonna do, and then also some jump movements that I'm gonna be pairing up with some strength movements. Tomorrow, being Friday, that's gonna be my second upper body day. Very similar to what I did on the first day. The movements are just gonna be changed. So we're gonna do vertical pressing versus bench press, horizontal rows versus pull-ups. So we're doing the same intent that we did on day one for the upper body. We're just changing the plane of motion for some of those movements. And then on Saturday, it's another iso and plyo day. Not a super high intensity day. We're just trying to build tendon quality, build some resilience in those tendons to be able to do some more intensive stuff in a later phase. That weekly format allows me where I have like one day per week where I'm doing some actual strength work. Because the focus is on the vertical jump, I'm doing a lot more focus on isometrics, on plyometrics, on the sprints, and not so much on just lifting heavy things slow. So my thought process for designing this program was we're gonna get away from like the very heavy, slower movements, and we're gonna try to do things a little bit more explosive, but we're gonna keep a little touch of those heavy movements in there just to have that strength quality, especially in the lower body, still be present even though it's not going to be a focus. So today we're gonna start off with a box jump. I'm just gonna do an easy approach up to the box. This is the only day of the week where I'm doing a jump onto a surface. Throughout the rest of the week, I'm always doing more jumping and landing back onto the ground because like I said, that impact is something that I also want to focus on because when I'm at the basketball court, every time you jump up, you got to land back down on the ground. So training that impact is something that I'm going to be doing throughout the course of the week. But today is going to be the only day of the week where I'm doing a box jump variation. Another thing too, I actually got myself a pair of basketball shoes and figured if I'm going to be at the court doing some dunks, I might as well get the proper footwear to do so. So I'm gonna try to do my jumps in these today, kind of break them in a little bit, see how they feel. I can tell you right now, they feel way different because obviously I use my other trainers, which is just kind of a flat sole, not a whole lot of cushion in them. These things feel like little mini trampolines because I can feel the cushion and the spring underneath the foot. But approach jump, I'm gonna probably do 6 to 8 total repetitions, just trying to build in some speed. I'm gonna be leading in with each foot, so 3 to 4 reps on each side. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna start with left leg forward, try to lead in with the right, plant and explode. And then on the next repetition, I'll start with the right foot forward, lead in with the left, plant and explode up through that 4 of the 6 to 8 reps, depending on how it feels. Box is 80 centimeters. So I've got 4 20-centimeter boxes on top of each other. Like I've always said, the height of the box doesn't matter. You want to try to land in above parallel. The box is just there to kind of add a little bit of like an external cue to make sure you're staying consistent with the effort and the height on each of those jumps. So first one here. One thing I'm noticing as I do these approach jumps is I want to give myself enough space to where I can really feel like I'm pushing through that load, that plant, and be able to explode through. So I want to make this movement quick and fast. Same thing I would do like if it was an approach jump on a basketball court where I'm going to be running up into it and trying to plant. This is basically just working on those last 2 to 3 steps prior to takeoff as we do those vertical jumps. The microphone hit me in the face right there. So since I'm only doing 1 rep at a time, I don't really need to take a whole lot of rest, probably 15, 30 seconds in between each of these jumps. And this whole first part of the workout is gonna take less than 5 minutes. I'm gonna take this microphone and kind of clip it up here, just so it doesn't smack me in the face again. Shoes feel different. I don't know, I wouldn't say good, I wouldn't say bad compared to the other shoes I normally jump in, just different. I feel like I'll probably do a little bit of jumping in them each week to just break the shoes in a little bit. Obviously I'm gonna go to the basketball court, which by the way, those videos will be coming soon. The basketball court schedule here is just a little bit crazy, so it's only available to me once or twice a week, and I'm not always able to make it there. But next week, I think I'll be able to squeeze in a day where I'll be able to get to the court and do a little bit of jump testing out there. I think that was 4. I'll do 1 more on each side. All right, so now I'm gonna swap out shoes and we're gonna get into some of the weightlifting portion for today. All right, I had to throw the hat on and clip the mic to it because I'm gonna be doing some hang cleans here to start. So with the hang cleans, all I'm really doing today is about 4 to 5 sets of 4 to 5 reps. The load on this is going to be relatively light, so I'm not worried about how heavy I'm going on this. I want this movement to be very explosive. So I'm just gonna be loading to about the top of the knee, exploding into my hang power clean. And then do anywhere between 4 to 5 sets on that. So I think I'll probably be about 100 kilos on that, so relatively light considering what my maxes are on the cleans. But like I said, we're looking at bar velocity, moving quickly for this particular. The load will come as we start working more on like power production. We'll start doing some heavier clean variations from blocks, working on exploding through with heavier loads. But for this first 4 weeks, probably first 8 weeks, I'm gonna be just looking at getting volume in at high velocities versus working on the absolute load that's gonna be on the barbell. All right, so I think I said 100 kilos is what I'm gonna be at, but I have a feeling 95 here is going to be just as fine. So 5 reps on this. And we're gonna do 4 more sets on that. All right, next up is we're gonna be doing a single leg Hatfield, and we're gonna pair this with a step-up jump. So Hatfield is just gonna allow me to get a little bit more stability as I'm working one leg at a time. I'm also going to be doing a heel floating variation on this. So I'm putting kind of the ball of my foot just past the edge where I'm kind of in that midfoot pressure. I want to be able to try to focus the tension as much as possible on the quads as I do this. So you'll notice the other thing I'm going to focus on is trying to allow my knee to kind of stay a little bit more forward versus doing like a reverse lunge and taking a step back with a more vertical shin angle. So I want that shin angle to be slightly forward, get a little bit more tension on the quad. And then I'm gonna be pairing this with a single leg step-up jump. So I've got the box at a height that's gonna allow me to be close to 90 degrees. Ideally, I'd wanna be a little bit above 90 degrees, but just for the setup that I have, this is gonna work just fine. I'm gonna have that foot pressure be as close to the foot pressure on the Hatfield as possible. So as I do this, I'm gonna be thinking about ball of my foot just past the edge, feel like I got some midfoot pressure, and then from this position here, we're gonna do, let's say, 2 to 3 reps on each side. And we're gonna do 4 to 5 sets of that. The rest in between is going to be very important. You basically want to get to full recovery. So that's going to mean somewhere between like a 3 to 5 minute rest after each of these sets. Because you're doing multiple repetitions on multiple exercises, you got to give yourself enough time to recover so that the next set you can maintain the intensity that you had on the previous set. So 3 to 5-ish minutes is generally a good place to be. If you need more, take more. You want to feel fresh, you want to feel explosive, you want to feel like each set feels the same as the previous set. So I'm not going to be loading up the barbell too much. I think 95 kilos for a single leg plus the jumps is perfectly fine. We'll add a little bit of weight next week and the week after that as we progress through this. But for today, 95 kilos is gonna be a good spot. So a few minutes here, and then we're gonna knock out about 3 to 4 more sets on that. All right, so the session is over. I did do a little bit extra work outside of the single leg squats and the step up jumps, but some people came into the gym and that gym is extremely small. So as soon as 3 people get in there, it is a pain to try to do any type of filming. So out of respect for the other people that come into the gym, I usually will stop filming if somebody's in there, just because I don't know if they want to be put on YouTube, whether they're in the background, anything like that. So I just try to avoid being awkward with the camera when there's other people in there because of that small space. But I did finish up with some extra work, just doing a little bit more reactive ability in a deeper range of motion. I'm not going to give out what it is exactly I'm doing. Some of the things I'm going to start doing with the videos is I'm going to give you guys some big chunks on what I'm doing in a single session, but I'm not going to give you absolutely everything I'm going to do in those sessions, because I do have a subscription program that people follow along and they're paying for. So I feel like to give them something that they feel like they're getting that other people aren't, I'm going to start taking some of the stuff out of the YouTube and focusing a little bit more on specifics on like bigger chunks of things that I'm focusing on, rather than an entire training session for each of these videos. Now, that's not to say that there's never going to be an entire training session ever again, but there are going to be some things that I deliberately leave out because I want those people on the subscription program to feel like they're getting something that other people aren't because they're paying for it. But now that I'm talking about the subscription program, the vertical jump emphasis program that I'm on right now is going to launch on the subscription program next week. So the people who are on the subscription program right now are finishing up like their last heavy week, and then we're going to move into this program. So I am about 2 weeks ahead of everybody that's going to be on that program, and they're going to start focusing more on that vertical jump, on the speed development, on the things that I'm doing that you've seen here for the past couple weeks on YouTube. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, you do get a 5-day free trial. So hop over there, check out the program. If you like it after 5 days, it costs $39 a month if you want to stay on it, which is basically $1.10 per day. And if you don't like it after 5 days, you can quit and you don't have to pay a single dime. So 5-day trial, give it a go. Next week's going to be week 1 of the vertical emphasis program for the unit subscription program. But other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.